Ever gone through the internet and scrolled through an amazing website with awesome animations and a modern design? Imagine if that website was your portfolio, leaving your potential clients amazed and wanting to see more of your work as a developer. Sounds awesome, right? Welcome to this video. Today, you'll learn how to build and deploy your own stunning portfolio website using Next.js 15 and Tailwind CSS. We'll create an incredible hero section with moving spotlights, background beams, social icons, a carousel, and timeline projects so that you can present your own projects, a testimonial component, text reviews, and so much more. By building this portfolio, you will learn Next.js layouts, component creation for better performance, and even integrate SEO. Responsiveness is handled by Tailwind CSS, and we'll also use NPM, Asternity UI, and React icons to make development smoother. Even if you're a beginner, you can build this project using the starter kit in the description below. And if you want to finish the project faster, let's help 100 people get this source code Figma designs, coding with Takunda Support, and even access to more projects like this at a discounted price. So hurry up before we reach 100. Link is in the description. We've also set up a Discord server for anyone who gets stuck. Listen, you're not alone. This isn't just an average portfolio. This is a career booster. It'll help you land awesome jobs, make you more professional, and increase your visibility on search engines, and so much more. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it and start building. Okay, so let's start by setting up our project. So for some people, you already know this process, so you can already skip ahead to the next stage of the video, or for those people who don't, you can stick around. And if you feel like it's too much for you, you can always get the starter kit in the description below. So first thing you'd want to do is create a folder. Right? Create your folder and name it something like, okay, for me, I'll be naming it os no. Let's get zipper. Yeah. So for me, I put it max zipper. Okay, then open your VS Code and drag your project. Awesome. Next thing you want to do is, head over to Next.js's official website and copy. So yeah, let's head back to VS Code, open up our terminal, and just paste that in there, and then click enter. Then it's gonna ask you for your project name. So you can name it anything you like. Maybe Max River, or some portfolio, or I don't know. But yeah, just think of a cool name. So here we're gonna be calling it Mac slash Ziver. Would you like to use TypeScript? Yes. Which linter would you like to use? So for us, we're going to be going with ESLint. Would you like to use Tailwind CSS? Yes. Would you like your code inside the CRC directory? Yes. Would you like to use Apparel? Yes. Would you like to use TurboPack? Would you like to custom? So, thing is, it all depends on your project, but if you're a beginner, just stick to just going on. Just press enter, 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 enter till you're done with the whole thing. The next is going to be importing your node modules and some dependencies. So yeah, it might take some time, but I'm just gonna skip all the way to when it's done. Okay, so our project is done and we can get cooking. But the problem here is that, as you can see here, right, we are currently inside another folder within the Mach0 folder. So to fix that in your terminal, just type cd Mach0, or I don't know, whatever you named your project. right? Then click enter, and voila, you're now inside your official project folder. Inside our CRC or source folder, that's what I like to call it. We have our page.tsx, right? So in the Next.js 18 plus project, right, with the app router, the page.tsx file is one of the most important files. Every folder inside the app directory can represent a route, and the page.tsx file inside that folder becomes the main entry point for that route. For example, we you could have like app, like within the app folder, then you have page.tsx. If you were to create another folder within here, which is projects, and then you put like another page.tsx, it would have that projects route, right? So in simple, right, that means whenever someone visits a route in your portfolio, the page.tsx file for that route is what Next.js looks for first. This is where like most of the work is done because it's where you import and assemble all your components, right? For example, the hero section, testimonials, projects, and footer. It's where you decide the layout and structure of your page. It also handles like server-side rendering or static generation, depending on how you export it. It's also the place where you can fetch data if the page needs it, like projects from an API or blog posts. Think of it like this. Your components, right? The hero.tsx, about.tsx, I don't know, are the building blocks, right? And your page.tsx is like the blueprint that tells Next.js um how to like put those blocks together, right? So while the individual components hold the functionality and design, the page.tsx is where you bring everything together to form like a full working page. So here we already have something like a demo page.tsx that's already developed by Next.js. So to get a preview, let's type in our terminal npm run dev and then click enter. Okay, now that's done, you want to locate through your local, right? Which is the whole HTTP localhost 3000. Follow the link and it'll open a page in your browser. This is where you like get to see everything that's on your page.tsx, right? Your homepage essentially. So if you're gonna make changes on the code, it's gonna reflect on this page. Right, so this is what your page.tsx looks like right now. You have the Next.js logo and you have the deploy now and read our docs button and all of that, right? So essentially, this is what the page.tsx looks like right now. And if we go back to our code, select all and remove all of that, and you wanna just type in RAFCE, and you're supposed to get this like drop down. Just click enter and voila. Okay, cool. So when we head back to our localhost page, you can see the Mac server text on the corner of the page. So as I said, your page.tsx is essentially where you'll be representing all of your work, right? Where you're mostly going to be playing is at the component side or data side, right? But for now, I just want you to grab an idea of what's going on. Okay, let's head back to our project and I want to explain more on the app folder, right? So next thing we have our layout.tsx, right? On our layout.tsx, in Next.js, every folder in app can have its own layout, right? .tsx. The layout.tsx acts like a wrapper around your pages. It's where you put all the things that should be shared across multiple pages, such as navigation bars, a footer, providers, SEO metadata, or just general page structure. So it just wraps your entire portfolio with the same consistent design. So when you go from like projects to contacts to the head to the footer, the overall layout just remains the same. So just think of it as like a frame of your websites. Yeah. Then next we have our globals.css. So this is this is just the whole design section of your page, right? It contains global CSS styles, and with Tailwind CSS, you usually have like a Tailwind base, um, theme inlines, roots. It also has the built-in like mode, dark mode, so you don't really have to, you know, go around having to find external ways to do that. So let's head back to our layout.tsx, right? So here we have fonts, right? We have our fonts that will be defaults on everywhere on our page generally. You can also add your own fonts, but ACS comes with these built-in fonts for your project. Head over to the metadata and change this to Mac Zivers portfolio. Awesome. So if you head back to our localhost 3000, right, and you refresh the page, you're going to see a change on the title of the page. See? Mac Zivers portfolio. Right, so we're done with the whole project parts, right? Now at least you can like get an idea of what your project structure is going to be like. So let's head over to building the whole project. So for stories, we're gonna be developing our hero section. Right? When someone gets to your website, it's the first thing they're going to see. You understand? So you need to make sure it's really visually appealing. So here we have a logo. We also have okay. So here we have the navbar, right, with different sections. We have home, headline, calendar, and the blog, right? So essentially, I'll also be creating a video on how to create separate pages because on this video, I'm just focusing on a single page portfolio. So yeah, I think maybe sometime next week, I'll be dropping that video. So do like and subscribe so that when I do drop that video, you can advance your portfolio page to bigger things. Well, it doesn't have to be just restricted to just a single page portfolio, right? Okay, so now we're back to developing our hero section. So what you want to do is within our well, source folder, you want to create another folder that's called components. Within that components folder, you want to make another folder called UI. So here's where we're going to be storing our components, right? So when we create a component, it's going to be within that, right? So what you want to first do on components, you want to create a file called hero.tsx, right? Always remember, you can always head up RAFC, click enter, and you have your hero. So what we want to do, right, to make this work, before I look forward, we want to make sure we kind of like import or install our necessary dependencies. Understand? For example, we're going to be working with React icons. So we can't work with React icons if we don't install the package. So in order to do this, split your terminal. After splitting your terminal, head over to reacticons.com. Okay, so here at reacticons.com, this is where you're going to be getting almost all of the well, icons we're going to be using in our project. You can also use Lucid React it all depends on you. But for this project, we're going to be handling all of that with React icons. Then head over to npm and search for React icons. You're going to see this installation procedure. These things aren't really that difficult. All you need to do is read through it and understand what you're supposed to do. Go through the documentation if you like, and you know, just play around there. Because by reading the documentation, you can get a, a bigger understanding on how you can use React icons. So what you do is head over and copy this, paste it, and click enter. Great. Now that's all done, right? Um, we we also have a few things we wanna install too. Head over to austinityui.com, search for background beams because we're gonna be working with background beams. So of course you can use any other company you like. Austenity UI is a library that contains loads and loads of more option components. It all just depends on what you like, but I really do recommend you use this platform. It's easy to understand, and with a little bit more time and playing with, you can be a pro with with this thing. So head over to background beams. So what you want to do is slide down and click manual. Now install this dependency. Step 1, copy it, head back to your VS Code, paste it into your terminal, and click enter. Okay, now that's done. Head back to austinityui.com. It's telling us to add a util file. So what you want to do here is head over to your source folder and create a lib file. Within that lib file, create a utils.ts file. Add back to the UI and copy this code. And this process is a one-time thing. Okay. You don't have to do this for each and every component you're gonna be, working with, right? Because once you sort of paste this into your utils.ts, it's gonna be working over all of your components. So you don't really have to worry about all that hassle of having to copy this again. Close that and head back. Okay. Here's that saying copy the source code, right? So you want to copy this background beams.tsx text, head back into the UI folder, paste it there, and click enter. Go back to Austinityui UI, and paste it there. Okay, so the thing with me is that even though I work with these things, right? The thing with me is that even though I work with Austenity UI and it's the whole copy paste thing, in order to like really have that originality, I tend to sort of fine tweak, um, my components to the way I want them to be. Because the thing with Austenity UI, it gives you a starting point, right? Of course, yeah, if you just want to leave it like that, that's on you. But I recommend you be creative with things and you just find your own way to play around with it. So this is what our background views look like, right? They are like these floating comments, this floating comment thing, right? Personally, how we're going to be working with this, I don't think how we're going to be working with this, we won't need this whole comment shower effect, right? So I'll show you how to do that. Copy the code, head back, and in your hero.tsx, change the background beams demo to hero, and also make sure you fine tune the directory so that it knows where to pick out the background beams. All right, so for my background beams.tsx, right? What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just select all and paste the background beams component that works with me, right? Mm, the one that I used for this project, right? So as I said, if you feel like you want that shower effect, you don't really have to change anything. But yeah, just to make it look prettier and just have that cooler design, yeah, I feel like you should just go with this. Okay. So yeah, just scroll down and copy through the code. Is just pause the video and copy down the code. Cool. Awesome. Next thing we're gonna head over to our hero.tsx, right? So we're not essentially done, right? As you can see, we have our background beams, but the final alternate thing that we want is that we have so many things that are on that hero section that are just not quite here yet. So let's still work on our UI components. Okay, so for the next thing, right, we're going to be working on our navbar. Right, so for our navbar, we're going to be using Austerity UI's resizable navbar. Okay, so all you gotta do is just repeat the same process. Nothing really different. Okay, as you can see here, they're using tabular icons, right? So the reason why I said at the start you should already import your own icons because we're going to be working with different icons, okay, not these ones. So what you want to do is copy this, head back to UI, paste, and you already have your accessible navbar.tsx. If you don't want to go through this process of creating these files and you just want a complete project structure, the link is in the description below where you can get the whole project structure in the starter kit. Just head over and paste this. Right. So here's the tricky thing. As I told you, you can always do it this way, but with the way I want my my own with the way I want my own navbar to look like, it's this isn't really ideal for me. So to avoid all of that and just avoid also ESLint errors, because when you're going to be deploying on sites like Vessel, you're gonna really come across ESLint errors and all that. So yeah, let's just try to find a way around that. So all you gotta do is follow through the video, and if you ever get stuck, right, hit down on the comment below and comment where you got stuck. I'm always here to help. Okay, so what we're doing is this. I work with modifying these components, right? Sure, they're good. I won't lie. Stingy UI's components are the best, but they're not really what I want my project to look like. So for me, they're a starting point, right? So I'm going to select all, delete all of that, and start from scratch. Okay, using the same structure, but fine tuning it to how I want it to be like. Okay, so if you ever get stuck, right, or you don't understand a certain concept or what we did in the video, right? always leave that in the comment section or head over to the Discord server where you can ask me personal questions on how I did this. And if you ever feel like there's a better way to doing it, drop it down in the comments and I'll respond. Okay, so let's get cooking. Now that our resizable navbar is done, what you want to do is head over to the components, right, and create a navbar.tsx file. Awesome. So the reason why I'm not going to go deep on these components is because, as I said, um, most of these things they take time. So the top 100 people, right, who are going to register for coding with Takunda will have a 1 month free one-to-one with me where I'll be explaining how these components work and the trick to sort of like, tweaking them so that they can look visually appealing and not too much um draggy or you know just all over the place on your UI. Okay, so for the nav, what you want to do is head back to your student UI, be this code, head back to your Visual Studio Code, paste this. So we don't really need this dummy content because whatever is going to be below that is going to be something else other than this. Also, head over and remove this part as well. Good. Now, what you want to do is tweak a few things. So if ever you have something different from what's in here, you can also change the features, pricing, contact, and anything like that. So what you want to do, right? As I said, I'm not going to spend so much time on the how and this and that on some components because honestly, it takes up a lot of time. Yeah, when I'm gonna tweak this, all you gotta do is check the code and go along with it. Okay. As I said, if you have more questions, right, and you really need one-on-one, right, advice or teaching methods on how I do this, and you also want a one-to-one on questions and answers on how I handle these things on all my projects, head over to the description and click the link to join my membership, right? And by doing that, you also gain Figma design full source code kits to this project and other various projects. So you also kill time. If you ever feel like this is too much of a long process for you, just head over, subscribe to the Coding with Takunda membership, and you can get this source code for free. Okay, so our nav bar is up and running. What we want next is to also fill out. As I said, we're going to be dealing with a lot of components. So just hang tight and follow through the video, okay? We're going to be dealing with a lot of components. Right? And I like to deal with my components first before I actually start going on to build what I need necessary, okay? So we're going to be going on step by step on the components first. And we're going to head over to building the whole page. Okay, so as I said, if you feel like this is too much of a crazy process for you, link is in the description. You can get the source code by joining my membership. Okay, now that we got all of the components we need for hero.tsx, now we can finally build the page. Okay, so what I want you to do is generally just remove this.